everyone, it's Jessie and Orly here today, and we are out on our Adventures of Integration Day for Ridley Creek State Park. And this is absolutely going to be an amazing day. We're expected to get up to a beautiful 70 degrees today, which is pretty warm from where we've been along the way for the last couple of weeks. But it's a beautiful area here, and I'm going to kind of scope around here so that you can see. It's really amazing thing, and we're going to be hiking some trails. They have a whole variety of things. This is in the Pennsylvania area, and actually it's, not too far out of the main city, which again is another great reminder that oftentimes we are so close to nature and we really have these great resourceful spaces to take advantage of. And I know we're going to have a great day out here today. Looking around, of course, we're always setting intention of things. And, having spent the last week with my friend Kat, that we've gotten acquainted over the last couple of years, and being at the Enlightened Path Center and all the wonderful people that are contributing to that venture there, it just really makes me want to, we just came on a new moon. We have a lot of amazing creative energy that is really about putting our intention out there strong, because the new moon was just 2 days ago. Actually, it's only been about a day and a half, whereas we're starting at this point. And, I think I'm just going to put a little success energy out there for everybody, because we have this beautiful peace portal opening. So I think the intent is going to be success for people's ventures today, and just success that things will thrive, and they'll, they'll flourish. They'll just flourish in a most beautiful, divine way. And I think that's a great, sometimes just general intention, and we don't have to always have the specific details. We do in some ways, but in other ways, we can leave it open and say, I'm open to divine's will in this process, and I'm open to see what amazing blessings can come my way that will bring these incredible successes on every level of our life. So I think we're going to open some of that energy up, because I've had so many people recently saying, boy, if I could just get this money piece together. So the root chakra is something we'll really be working with today. And that's going to be, I think, a great thing, because the root chakra is tied to so many things: family dynamics, finances, sensuality, personal passion, and being able to flourish on the earthly world. And this is a big struggle for a lot of spiritual people, because so many spiritual people, there's a disconnect going on between the material and the spiritual world. And they want to be these spiritual people, and they want to be these spiritual beings in these spiritual lives, but we're still living on the earthly plane. So that means that we can't ignore having all the successes on the earthly plane. And if we're really fully connected with our spiritual beings and our spiritual sides, then we're going to flourish on the earthly plane as well. So I think that that's an amazing thing. It's more of a, I don't have to have all of these things, but I want to continue to grow and to develop things. And so I want to allow the flourishing to come in that allows that to happen. And if our root chakra gets all closed up and shut down and funky in its vibrations, then, those things don't open up for us. And walking and nature are two amazing, amazing ways to open up that root chakra. So we're going to be heading down the trail. We'll catch up with you along the way. Take care. We'll see you soon. And stay with us with our intention. I got some amazing new tools at the Enchanted Path, and beautiful singing bell and a couple of more singing bowls. And I've got the singing bell with me today, so we'll see if there's a great spot to work with that. So one of the very first things that I notice right here on this trail as we look at our symbolism today is that we do have some runic symbols coming out that are openings that support our abundance, but we also have this vine that is climbing on the tree, as you can see right there. And vines are extremely prolific, they're extremely sturdy, they're extremely durable, which is a great sign when we're talking about abundance because it's hardy, and it means that it's lasting, and it means that it's quick growing, and all of those great things. But what we have to be careful of is when we get a symbolism like this where it's on the tree, they can also start to take the life out of our trees, which means our greater nurturing supportive energy. And that means that sometimes in the quick growth, we can be suffocating out our longer growth or our core selves. So it's definitely something that says, hey, we have to pay attention to this and we have to be aware of this. And I'm seeing some other little symbolisms in the trees right there that have some openings that represent harvest, and it represents forward momentum, and it represents prosperity. So I think we're on the right trail for our abundance intention. So Orly and I just hit a little fork in the road, and one of the things I wanted to stop and point to is when we're trying to manifest or release things, and this is a great time for also releasing, is that we want to work with the natural flow and the natural cycles, and that's a big part of what we do. So since we just hit the new moon, what we're going to do is we're headed to the left so that we can go clockwise. The clockwise direction favors the moon cycle going from the new moon to the full moon, and if we were a couple of days earlier or a week earlier, we would have gone the other direction to unwind. But since we're especially working on abundance and success factors today, we definitely want to go in that clockwise direction. So we're going to be heading down the trail this way, which is going to be absolutely amazing. And there's some great things that we're going to be running into along this path, and we'll catch up with you then. So a couple of short things. Orly's right down here walking with me, as you can see. And you know what's really fun is on this one side of the road here, we've got a lot of little fern that is coming up. Let's see if I can focus in here a little bit on it. And fern is a great sign of abundance, so I'm really happy to see this today on here. And then also, as we move along, coming up down this way, let's see if we can get it in focus. There we have a bridge actually that we're going to be coming up on. And that bridge right there we go. Bridges are amazing symbols when we're dealing with various things, because when we have an opportunity to go through them or over them, it is a transference of moving from our past to our future. It's a shift of the energy in a wonderful way, and it's a matter of being able to actually overcome any obstacles that we find along the way in our path. So it's always a great sign to be able to go over and through a bridge area, and we're going to be passing through there and moving on. So Orly and I are hanging out in the tunnel here for a minute, and it's really great because it's metal on the inside, and this represents a lot of air element, which is going to show us, it's really great for putting out the request for abundance and for successes and things like that, especially where that's in this transition. And there's a great echo in here, which is really amazing. So I wanted to kind of pull around here. Here we go. Here's some nice light. This is the singing bell that I picked up just a couple of days ago from Enchanted Path. And we're going to do a little playing in here, a little harmonizing. So I thought I'd try to capture some of that. You won't be able to watch the bells so much. I was trying to find a place that I could get the camera located where you might be able to also watch the bell. And maybe we still can. I've got Orly down here. We'll see if we can get the lighting in such a way. And maybe we can here. I can just step back a little bit. And what you can do is you can just focus on your own aspects of success and abundance that you're asking for right now. And we're just going to bring the echo up in here. And at the same time, what this does is it heals. It heals our past while we're bringing forward our future, all by a simple action in the present. So all of it's affected by the present moment. Probably have some people going by, so it's going to happen today. We have lots of people out on the trail. a good reminder too of how we can truly keep a focus even amongst other things happening around us. If we stay focused on our present moment, on our particular aspect, we can stay tuned to the sound. And that's why sometimes it helps just to close our eyes in the middle of our day for a few seconds, or to take a breath, specifically so we can focus on our present moment as opposed to everybody else's. And what's really cool with this, and I'm not going to spend a lot of time here, but what's really cool with this is that this happens when we're starting into our paths of success and abundance and prosperity and all of these different things. We're going to be challenged. We're going to be challenged with distractions, but we don't have to let them stop us. We don't have to let them, take our attention away from what we're doing. And it's so easy to stop and give our attention to everybody else instead of just taking and keeping our focus on ourselves. So we're going to catch up with you in a little bit. Take care. See you soon. And again, this is Jessie and Orly, and we're on Ridley Creek today in Pennsylvania. Now, part of what can come up when we are doing work with intention is various memories from our past can suddenly seem to jump into our lives. And I was here and I was crossing this little bridge, and here's this little creek that's going by, and of course creek is full of abundance, which is part of our stuff, and success. Water is really great for that. It drives our emotion and our passion to really get that experience. And of course we've got all the beautiful fall foliage, which is the harvest season right now. But when I hit this little spot here, the memory that came to me was when I was a child and we would go to Disneyland, and there was the storybook boat ride that was there, and you rode on this boat and you'd go through, and on the banks of a creek that wasn't much bigger than this in a lot of ways would be these little, settings that they had put in the hillside of the different fairy tales and the different tales. And what's really amazing about that is because so many times we say, oh, you can't live in that aspect, it's not real, it's not reality, it's those have no place for you, and that just creates all kinds of illusions. But the reality is, in this, the irony or the twist of it is, as I've talked about in my books, You, Me, Life, Dreams, is that is where we find the foundations of what's in our heart. That's where we find the foundations of what our soul is seeking out. So, for example, if we have a fairy tale that we're drawn to, or one that comes up for us, what really happens in the process of that is that, we actually find through that fairy tale the roles that we play, the pros and the cons that go with those roles, or should I say truths and distortions that go with that role. And it also gives us an idea of the type of life that we're trying to create, the type of people we're trying to create. And not exactly, perhaps as it was in the fairy tale, so much as the qualities and the traits and the aspects that we're looking for. So oftentimes when we think of fairy tales, it's that ability to have a life where we're joyful, where we're happy, where we are able to discover different things, where we're growing and learning at all times. And there's all kinds of components depending on the storytale. And some people would say, oh yeah, but wasn't like Snow White living in a victimhood, but it was also about overcoming the different pieces that are involved in that. So it's always amazing to me if we stop and we take the time and say, what is the memory that you're getting when you're walking along in life? What is the memory that is being triggered for you? So I just wanted to stop and share that for a moment as part of our day here on Ridley Creek Trail in Pennsylvania. See you soon. Really decided she'd do a little exploring of her own here at Ridley Creek, and she thought it'd be kind of fun to come climb around this bench. We were just getting ready to make some adjustments to get her into the front pouch here, and we don't really let her down in all of those wonderful autumn leaves because I think as fun as it would be for her to play in them, really it's a little bit of a challenge because they can have some strong ticks, so we don't let her down to play in the leaves. She has to kind of stay on the paved paths, but we will catch up with you. I just wanted to take a minute here to mention a couple of things, and you know, we have a couple of key sounds here today, and one of them is the Ridley Creek, which is going right by us here. And the sound of water moving is always great when we're working on abundance, as well as the leaves in the tree, because it reminds us that all of life is abundant. It is going to cycle, it is going to adjust and shift and change, but it is absolutely abundant for us. And when we take the time to really focus on that abundance, it just gets more and more amazing. When we take the time to listen, and this is a big part of developing success and prosperity in our lives, because when we're working on this, we sometimes forget to listen. We forget to just stop and pause and watch and see and hear what's going on around us. And it sounds really basic and really simple, but it's in those things that we really get the messages, that we really get the insights that we need. You know, we also have had some people that we've been passing, and a couple of times, you know, Orly gets in there and she just really communicates with people. And that networking, you know, sometimes it's just about building a friend. Sometimes it's just something as simple as bringing a smile to somebody's day. And that can happen simply by your mere existence. We forget about those little pieces, right? We forget about just us going through our day, living in our soul self, brings so much joy to other people. And, you know, rarely does it cause a trigger. It doesn't cause a trigger. It's, you know, rarely do people stay upset around somebody who's really, and I don't mean the overabundant, silly joyfulness necessarily, but peaceful joyfulness, a peaceful calm. And it reminds us that we have to connect with people along the way. And that's one of our key focuses, because yes, on one half of it, it's an internal process, and another half of it, it's how do we network with people? How do we build our relationships with people? And do we do it in a salesy way, or do we do it in a way that is just conversation, you know, just like making friends and sharing stories? And that's where the real power is. That's where people connect. And then, you know, it always leads into there. Let them ask the questions along the way. The light is enough to bring it out, and Orly is certainly an example of that. We've got her right here in the pack, and I'll see if I can pull back a little bit. So she's kind of settling down on this part of the trail. She did some great walking for a while, and now she's just kind of got her little spot here. And the networking is a huge thing. And even when we're quiet and we're still like this, what we find is that when we're carrying the light, when we're being the light, when we're sharing what's happening, by just existing as the light, people draw to that. You don't shut it down. It just continues to draw great blessings through it. And whatever is being focused on, whatever our intent is, can then manifest very easily. You know, as I've been talking a lot about on my trip here, through the different stops that I've been making, especially the last couple of weeks, is that if we don't take the time to rest and to pause and to listen and these sorts of things, then you're not receiving. And if you don't get yourself on that vibration of receiving, then that's a really big thing, because you're not going to get the successes or the abundance or the various things if you're so busy being so active, if you're so busy focusing on everything outside of yourself. It can't come to you because you haven't stopped, you haven't allowed it, you haven't put yourself in the receiving space. So even in the receiving space, we can be extremely magnetic, and that's actually where it flows in. So we have to remember to stop, pause, listen, look, take it in, experience it. We'll catch up with you soon. So I just wanted to stop here for a minute. This is a great little spot that we've found here. The creek is right here. We have this kind of landing area here, and the creek goes down the other side. And energetically, this is so great. It's what they call a little fishing pier in a way. And we're going to do a little visualization. We're going to work with the singing bowl a little bit. And while we're doing this, go ahead and get yourself ready before we get started here. And we're going to just focus on slowing down our breathing, and we're going to picture about what we want to be successful in our lives, what we want to be abundant in our life, and really feel what it's like to experience that, because we really do have an idea of what we want to feel like, and why we think what we're getting is the catalyst to get there. What we really want to do is tune into that feeling that we're doing. And in the process of that, we'll do a little visualization of just, as you listen to the chimes, go ahead and cast your fishing line out and picture yourself capturing what it is that you're seeking, what it is that you would like to choose to have in your life is really the way we'll look at it. So we're all ready to go here. Again, we found this great little spot, and just go ahead and take those deep breaths, and we're going to make sure we do this in a clockwise rotation. Close your eyes and make sure you're breathing from your diaphragm. Okay, that's the key area, right from that solar plexus area if you're not sure where that is. And with each breath in, I want you to visualize or feel, whatever works for you, the sense of just brilliant white and golden light coming into you. I really like the golden light in this situation. And I really like to combine this with the third eye chakra and the crown chakra, and bringing in some nice purple colors, deep purple, brilliant purple, and lavender colors. Because it is what we're taking in and combined with what is in our best interest and for our highest good. And may we always take in great success and abundance that comes from the divine and is for our highest good. I do have the tone coming up on the bell. And the bell is a great tool to be using with this right now, because the bell is a great representation of the messenger. Just move this towards the sun. I know it should probably be sitting the other way, but we'll work with it. And I want you to go ahead and sense yourself throwing your hook out into the water. And as the sound increases on this, I want you to feel yourself making a really big catch. Really feel yourself catching it. Feel it tugging on that line. But also see yourself able to reel it in. Draw it in, reel it in. And as you reel it in, having it really just want to connect with you and stay with you and be in your life. not in a stagnant way, because we want it always flowing through, but just having it absolutely do that flow through, like it just keeps coming in. It hangs with you by choice. It's there assisting you. And let's say you spend a little money and then, you know, you reap in a whole bunch more. Or you help somebody else with a little success and you gain this huge success in your life. And while we're doing this and we're gaining all of this wonderful abundance and success, while we're here, we're also going to call in, and I'm asking for the divine to just bless waters and earth and trees and the whole gamut here, that it can be restored to healing, that its energy can be elevated even further, that it can take care of itself even better, and that I can continue to be in harmony with it, because when I'm in harmony with these aspects, and we have every element with us right now, then everything flows and everything becomes abundant and everything becomes a joy. Can still be some challenges, but we're able to deal with them in a joyous and welcoming way that makes them a blessing for us. And just take a moment to go ahead and appreciate the abundance, the successes, making the big catch, and using that with wisdom and love and divine will. It's very interesting. I keep getting the 3 ring confirmations while I'm doing the singing. It doesn't always happen that way. And let yourself come back around and refocus. And be blessed. When we do it on this level, we can manifest it on any level. And that's a powerful thing. It's a powerful place. It's a powerful space. And it just reminds us we do always have the power, because it comes in through feeling and through emotion and these various ways that are just absolutely incredible. And I certainly hope that all of yours come through in the most amazing, blessed, divine ways and with gentle lessons. We'll catch up with you later on. So when we're working with abundance energy and we're working with prosperity and success energy, one of the things about being in nature is that we surround ourselves with prolific energy. We surround ourselves with abundance and prosperity and success, because as we look at, just even a tree, you take a look at these trees and it's amazing. And some of these are young by nature, but they've had the success of growing and developing and creating the height that they have. When we look at the ferns that are around or the leaves that they bear, and it's so numerous. And the key is that even if my success, say, that I'm asking for isn't necessarily success for trees, although I do want success for trees as well, but in my own personal life, just simply being around this level of abundant energy is very, very powerful, because as we know, all things in the universe operate by vibration. And given that it operates by vibration, one of the best ways to help yourself align for success and abundance and finances and all of those things that help make our lives a little bit easier in some ways, and that allow us to further our goals on bigger scales, or put our passions and our mission out into the world, so to say, is to be in that vibration. So, even if you say don't have the ability to go and, play in a pile of billions of dollars, for example, you do have the ability to go and be in a natural space like this. And the greens represent that success. The greens represent prosperity and abundance, and the browns represent stability and wealth. And the road, being that you have a road to travel through all of that. And it's powerful that your path is surrounded by abundance everywhere if you look at it. So simply being on a clear abundance, and that's what nature is. Nature is a clear abundance level vibration in many ways, really gives you that opportunity to tune in and to operate at that vibration and remind your own DNA and your own structure that indeed you have that within you, and remind what it's like to vibrate at that. That's just part of the power of nature. So Orly and I are just finishing up our day here at Ridley Park in Pennsylvania, and it's really been a wonderful week here, connecting with different people and seeing different things, and it's really been an amazing process, and we're looking forward to moving on to Atlantic City, and we're looking forward to the next step in the journey of the 2014 Compassion Tour. Take care, everybody. We'll see you soon.